dogs, feral animals. But we know that there are over 1,000 wildlife carers in Australia who voluntarily give up their time and their money to look after these injured and sick animals. These are our local heroes. They look after the beautiful wombats, the precious possums, all of the other native creatures that sadly are facing injury and sickness. So the Greens would like to support our volunteer wildlife heroes with a $15 million grants program to help with the costs of looking after our animals. We hear from carers that up to $100 a week can be spent alone, and that's just on food. Doesn't include other sorts of costs like equipment or travel. So we want to help our wildlife carers look after our precious native animals, and that's why I'm really excited to be here with Sarah and Bridget to announce this grants funding program today. Sarah?
I think it's a fabulous initiative, and here in South Australia we have such amazing wildlife. We have our wombats, of course, like Joy here today, but we also have our koalas, and only a couple of weeks ago there were stories about the brutality that koalas were facing down in the southeast in relation to the felling of plantation trees, and the wildlife carers who are having to go in and pick up the pieces after the habitats have been destroyed and koalas needing to be cared for. It's important for our tourism industry here in South Australia that we look after our wildlife, and the people who do that more than anybody are the volunteers and those non-profit organisations. An idea to fund a grants program that would allow wildlife carers the support they need to keep doing their job of keeping our wombats and our koalas and our wildlife healthy and happy is so important to the vitality of our state's tourism. Bridget.
I think this is a really wonderful initiative, and I thank you both for coming up with this. Unfortunately, a lot of these animals do end up with nowhere to go, and it's solely reliant on volunteers like us, and there are a lot of people like us that go without food and go without nice things like clothes or going to the movies just to be able to support the wildlife. And it's really important to understand these animals belong to everyone. They're not just ours, they're not just the government's, everyone wants to have them here. And so something like this is going to help us be able to get more people involved, because it does take a lot to be able to give up everything that you want to be able to look after these animals, and that's really important that we can get new people in, we can give them the training so that these animals can be given the best chance at all for life. It's wonderful.
Great.
Thank you for doing what you do, Bridget.
Thank you.
Keep up the wonderful work.
No worries, thank you.
Hopefully we can get you some funding.
Thank you.